After I refused to give my mom my inheritance, she invited me to a family meeting. When I arrived, they had lawyers ready to force me to sign it over. But the moment they handed me the papers, I smiled and said, "Funny, I brought someone too. My mother and her husband are trying to burn down my house." The dispatcher asked for details, but I barely heard her. I was too busy watching in shock as my own mother handed her husband a lighter. Then, the sirens started. They must have heard them too because suddenly, they panicked. My mom yanked the canister from his hands, and they both took off running toward the street. But it was too late. The cops got there before they could escape. I watched through the camera as my mom screamed at the officers, trying to spin some story about how they were just checking on the property. But the gasoline in her hand said otherwise. And when the officers checked the canister, confirming it was full of fuel, that was it. They were arrested on the spot. I drove straight there, arriving just as they were being shoved into the back of the squad car. My mom saw me and started screaming. "You set me up. You did this to me." I stared at her, my jaw clenched so tight I thought my teeth might crack. "No, Mom," I said, my voice calm. "You did this to yourself." She lunged forward, but the cops held her back. That was the last time I saw her face to face. But the story wasn't over. Because what happened next? That was the real twist. The cops took my mother and her husband to jail that night. I stood there in the cold watching as the flashing red and blue lights reflected off the pavement. My hands were still shaking, not from fear but from anger. They had planned to burn my house down. My dad's house. And for what? Spite? Revenge? Or just plain greed? Whatever the reason, I was done. Done giving them chances. Done hoping they'd do the right thing. Done letting them walk all over me like I was still some dumb kid. This time, they were going to face real consequences. The fallout the next few days were a blur of police reports, lawyer meetings, and court documents. My mother was charged with attempted arson and conspiracy to commit a felony. Her husband got hit with the same. And because my security cameras had caught everything in high definition, their lawyers didn't have much to work with. The best part? Since she was already on thin ice with debt collectors and had a history of financial trouble, the judge denied her bail. She had to sit in jail until her trial. My half-siblings, the two entitled brats who thought they deserved a cut of my inheritance, tried to distance themselves. My half-sister left me a long, tearful voicemail about how she had no idea Mom was going to do something so crazy and that she hoped we could still be family. I didn't respond. My half-brother, the one who called my dad a washed-up loser, sent a short text. "Hey, man. I didn't know about this. Hope you are okay." I left him on read. They might not have been part of the arson attempt, but they sure as hell knew what my mom was capable of. They were more than happy to help pressure me into giving up my inheritance, but the second things got real, they ran. Not my problem. The trial, it took about 6 months for the case to go to court. My mother tried everything to get out of it. She claimed she had no idea there was gasoline in the canister, that she was just checking on the house because she was worried about me. Then she switched tactics, claimed I set her up, that I had lured her there and planted evidence to make it look like arson. That theory fell apart when the prosecutor played the security footage for the jury. There she was, plain as day, holding a flashlight, pointing where her husband should pour the gasoline. There he was, pulling a lighter from his pocket. The jury took less than 2 hours to reach a verdict. Guilty. She was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Her husband got 12 since he was the one actually holding the lighter. They both tried to appeal. They lost. Justice served. With him gone, I finally had peace. No more threats. No more late night calls. No more stress. I kept the house, fixed up the damage, replaced the broken photos of my dad. I even framed a copy of the cease and desist order my lawyer sent them, just as a reminder of how far they went and how much they lost. As for my half-siblings, I never spoke to them again. Last I heard, my half-sister was drowning in credit card debt, and my half-brother was bouncing between jobs, still blaming everyone else for his problems. Not my concern. They made their choices, just like my mother did. And in the end, they all got exactly what they deserved. After everything settled, I finally moved into Dad's house. Our house now. It felt right, continuing what he started. Every morning, I have coffee on the porch where we used to sit. Every evening, I work in his garage, finishing projects he never got to complete. It's not the life I expected, but it's the one I'm building, brick by brick, memory by memory. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if Mom had just been decent. If she'd respected Dad's wishes. If she'd acted like family instead of a vulture circling his legacy. But then I remember what Dad always said, "You can't control what others do, son. Only how you respond." I like to think I responded the way he would have wanted. Standing my ground. Protecting what he built. And most importantly, not letting bitterness consume me the way it consumed her. Patricia still checks in now and then. "Your father would be proud," she told me the last time we spoke. I think she's right. As for the inheritance, I've invested most of it, just like Dad would have. Some went to charity, causes he believed in. The rest is for the future, maybe a family of my own someday. A family built on love and respect, not greed and entitlement. That's the real legacy Dad left me. Not the money or the house, but the example of how to live with integrity, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. And that's worth more than anything my mother ever tried to steal.